Hey guys, Instinct bringing you a brand new video. As you can see, I'm playing Black Ops 4. I started this game out with a sniper rifle, but there was a couple kids just running around trying really hard with the VMP, so I'll switch to an SMG later, and then I'll let the rest speak for itself. I didn't do like amazing, but I definitely showed those guys that they're really not that great trying that hard. But basically, yeah. Today I want to talk about the current state of Modern Warfare and a couple things going on around the game, with the developers that kind of show us that the game is not dying, of course. Like, it's been a huge success, this game, like the highest sales numbers of the current gen console, but it's definitely losing some steam. So basically, I don't know if you guys have heard yet, but Modern Warfare has been sending out surveys to players whose playtime has decreased over time. So since the game came out, they're just playing less and less and less. And obviously Modern Warfare, it's been filled with like bugs, exploits. Like, I think when the game first came out, there was people like under the ground war map. The map designs have been kind of atrocious, to say the least. The weapon balancing hasn't been too bad, other than the M4, and the 725 actually has been pretty bad. But to Infinity Ward's credit, they've been releasing patches like each week, sometimes multiple a week. So I give them props there. Like, you gotta give respect where respect is due. Like, they're trying to make it better, but there's also been, of course, a couple of things they haven't touched up on. Skill-based matchmaking, obviously. But when we look further into the survey, it gives a couple different options. So one of the questions that someone posted online was, what if anything would convince you to start playing Call of Duty Modern Warfare again? And these are a couple of the options. If there was a difficulty setting in Spec Ops, so a lot of people complaining about it just being too hard. Spawn logics in multiplayer maps were resolved, so a lot of complaints about the spawns, and honestly it's been really bad. So like, even going back and playing Crash, it's like, how do you ruin spawns on a game or on a map that already had good spawns? Like, how do you make it worse somehow? You like just use the same spawn system. If weapon balance issues were resolved, so obviously a lot of people complaining about the 725. If Spec Ops technical issues, new Spec Ops experiences, missions, maps. So a lot of Spec Ops stuff going on. A couple notable things: if multiplayer allowed me to vote on maps I like, and if my progression issues were resolved. So a lot of guns, their progression was going back to level 1, even though it was still continuing, it would show as level 1. But now I think that has been resolved. I haven't really had any issues with it. Noticeably missing has been anything to do with skill-based matchmaking. They won't even touch up on that, and I talked about the patent that they made, that they filed earlier this year before the game came out. So I don't know, it's been really non-transparent, I would say, about the skill-based matchmaking. Like, you want players to come back, but you won't tell the full story. Also, I noticed that if you actually go online, I think you can check on YouTube, you can also check on Google, like how popular searches have been in the past. So it looks like Modern Warfare went up really high, and now each day you can see it slowly going down. So people are searching for it less on YouTube, people are searching for it less on Google, so the interest is kind of fading. And Infinity Ward still won't touch up on the main concerns that players have, like skill-based matchmaking. They haven't even touched up on if they're gonna make a skilled game mode, like a competitive mode, like every other COD usually has, where like the pros can go play, or where like the amateurs can play, or people that want that competition can go play. And obviously they're still catering to like bring in newer players. That's what at least this survey suggests to me. If you want, like, the core is obviously still there, but they want all the newer players, the noobs, to come back in and kind of play. I'm not sure like what kind of effect this survey will have. I don't know if it'll change anything in the actual game itself, but we did see that when Crash came out, they made a Crash 24/7. Lots of complaints about Shoot House being taken out, and bam, just like that, 2-3 days later, Shoot House 24/7 was back. So they are listening, but it just seems like they're listening to things that only they want to listen to. And also another big complaint is that the pro players, or anyone that plays private match is actually hosted on a 12 hertz tick rate, which is absolutely horrible. Like, if you go Google a 12 hertz tick rate, you'll see that like the player moving throughout the screen is so far apart that it's actually ridiculous that pro players would have to put up with that, let alone just a regular player. Like, they sold $25 million spots in their league that they made, but their private match is still at 12 hertz. I think most pro games, not all of them are at 144, but they're definitely close to 144 for the most part. I think CSGO runs at 144. I'm actually just going to double check here. CSGO tick rate. I'm pretty sure they run at 144. Oh, okay, they run at 64. So think about that. CSGO, a game where you don't move as much as Call of Duty. Call of Duty has all these movements, is running at 64 tick rate, while Call of Duty is running at a 12 tick rate. So that's why sometimes, if you've ever played private match, you're shooting at someone, it won't register properly. Also, I've noticed that the MP5 is also disgustingly overpowered now. They really need to take a look at that. It's not to do with the tick rate, but with the server rate. Some MP5 bullets, since they're being shot faster than most guns shoot, one bullet will do the damage of 2 bullets because it'll think that you shot 2 bullets because the fire rate is so high. And especially with the 10mm rounds in that gun, it increases the damage. So sometimes I'll die in just 2 shots because it'll think that they hit me with 3, but it looks really disgusting. So they definitely need to take a look at that. There's a couple things that they definitely need to go over. The transparency has gone down in the last couple of weeks here. I've noticed that, you know, they're kind of just putting stuff off, saying that they got death threats and they're not really interested in, you know, communicating with us if they're going to be receiving death threats. So I guess we'll see if any of this makes a difference. Hopefully that they have like a other in the survey where you can just put down, you know, just be transparent about skill-based matchmaking. If you're not going to take it out, at least tell us like what's going on with it. Anyways, guys, those are my thoughts on this. Please let me know your thoughts. Tell me if you would like to, you know, have the survey, if they should send it to everyone, or just kind of what your thoughts are on the current state of the game. Anyways, guys, this has been Instinct. Thank you guys so much for watching. Remember to leave a like and subscribe. See you guys next time.